Hi English 10, Ms. Long here. This is a video for the beginning of our fifth and final session on the inquiry report. And I'm really proud of you guys. This is not an easy report. It's probably the hardest unit in the entire year. And you've been working with a lot of information. This is the session where it all comes together. And this session is going to be spread out over kind of two funky weeks. There's a lot going on with days off and Super Bowls and things like that. But this is where we wrap everything up. So I want to walk you through this session, make sure that you know kind of what sort of resources are available to you and other information that you'll need. So if you look through our sessions and assignments and schedules, you'll see we've got 6 assignments here, some of which are optional, the work ethic bonus, some of which are somewhat basic. But I want you to be aware that there are those assignments, but also this schedule here. We are going to go until Wednesday, February the 17th on this. Stretch it out just a little bit for those of you who started late or got behind or have other things going on. And then what we'll do the final part of that week is just get a brief introduction to our next unit. So we've got these assignments here, a whopping 315 points in this unit because the paper itself is so heavy in that grading. So make sure you give this your attention. If you've been doing your work ethic bonus all along, this is the last session that you need to do in order to get that bonus for Unit 5. So take advantage of that. That will be the first day this is available. Then we'll move into inquiry report revision, and we'll be doing these things here in order to revise your paper successfully, starting with some peer revision. And I know that a lot of you enjoy seeing what other people are doing. And I think from what I've seen in the past several months, you've been giving each other good feedback. So you will post your paper here, and ideally take the paper right above yours as you post to review. Somebody please go back and get that first person who posted so they get some feedback. Or that first person who posts will need to get some feedback to somebody. But pick one that you are kind of able to review well. You'll use some sentence frames, a little worksheet here, to give that person feedback. Then you'll also go ahead and look at some other models, and you'll look at a feedback video that I've given you. As I looked at the drafts, I made some generalizations about things that needed to be addressed as you looked at your own drafts. And so I've given you general reminders and feedback here, and I'd like you to take a look at that video. Then you'll bring everything together in an assignment where you tell me what feedback you got. Tell me what you got out of the video, tell me what you got out of peer revision, and tell me what you got out of the individual comments that I gave you. And for 20 points, you'll summarize that feedback. Then for this assignment, the other 20 points are actually revising. If your paper looks the exact same as when you turned it in as a draft, you've wasted this whole session and a week of your time. So I do expect you to be doing some serious revision on this and really getting down to what it is that you need to do to make this a better paper. I also want you to be attentive to the skills that we've been working on. Things like those introductory phrases and clauses, how you punctuate quotations, how you blend quotations, and how you cite quotations. I'm not going to mark off for every period or comma on your paper, every misspelled word, no, but these are the things that I will be looking for. So I'd like for you to take some time to review those, and then you'll have a quiz 5 on this, quiz 5.54, and that'll be available on Wednesday so that you have a chance to actually look through the practice exercises. And it will cover basically these things here. Now, if you get a higher score on this final quiz, the unit quiz, I will replace your lower scores with the higher score that you got on the quiz. So you really can't go wrong with this. It's going to give you another shot at that. You'll take some time in this session also to look at the MLA Style. That's the paper layout, internal citations, and the works cited page. And you've got some materials to work with on each of those categories: paper format, the internal citation, and the works cited page. So when you get all done with that, you'll finalize with the rubric, making sure that you've met the key points in this rubric here. And you'll finalize with a checklist in which I've given you things to look at. If you want an A paper, this is how you get there. So pay attention to these things. When you turn in your final paper, you will be using Turnitin, which most of you have used at some point. It's an online plagiarism checker, and it helps me to know when you should have material cited, helps you to know when you should have material cited. To use it, you will first need to make an account with an email address of your choice. Then you need to join my class and use this particular enrollment password for that. Finally, then you need to find the assignment called Unit 5 Inquiry Report and upload your paper. And because it's so important that I get this feedback and be able to use those tools, I won't be grading your paper until it's in, turn it in. So I may hound you about it a little bit, make sure that's in there, but don't forget it. The last and final piece of this unit then is to do some reflection, because good reflection is good learning. We do not learn unless we stop and think, what did I just do? So I would like for you to give me a very, very full 2 paragraphs on what you've learned. That learning can be academic. Maybe you learned how to use databases. Maybe you learned something about a particular genre, how to use quotes. Maybe you learned something about your topic. Or maybe you learned something about you as a learner, like don't put this off to the last minute. I have in here a reference to the fact that you can't buy typewriter ribbon in the middle of the night, which is what I learned when I took AP English. So wrap things up with what you have learned about our study and about yourself as a learner, and that will take us to the end of our unit. Then in our next unit that we will start at the end of this, the 18th of February, we will be looking at Steinbeck. So we'll be looking for a list of book choices that you can choose from, and you'll want to get that ordered right away. So if you have any questions, message me, make an appointment on my appointment schedule. You can book me or just message me about good times that you would be available and you'd like to talk about your paper. Have a great week and a half, and I look forward to seeing what you've come up with.